Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about a car that represents everything enthusiasts love about Aston Martin: dramatic design, incredible performance, British luxury, and most importantly, the legendary sound and character of a V12. This is the 2027 Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Before we begin, it is important to mention that a 2027 V12 Vantage has not been officially confirmed by Aston Martin. So, this video looks at the idea of a future V12-powered Vantage, using the engineering and character of Aston Martin's previous V12 Vantage as a reference. And if Aston Martin ever brings the V12 back to the Vantage, it could be something truly special. Let's begin. The Aston Martin Vantage has always been one of the most emotional sports cars in the British automotive world. It is smaller, more aggressive, and more driver-focused than Aston Martin's larger Grand Touring models. But imagine taking that compact sports car formula and combining it with a 12-cylinder engine. That is exactly what makes the idea of a new V12 Vantage so exciting. A V12 is not simply about numbers. It is about character. It is about the way the engine responds when you press the accelerator. It is about the sound. It is about the feeling that comes through the steering wheel, the chassis, and the entire car. Aston Martin's previous V12 Vantage demonstrated just how extreme this formula could become. The final V12 Vantage used a 5.2-liter twin-turbocharged V12 engine producing around 700 PS, with a claimed top speed of 200 miles per hour and a 0-to-60 time of approximately 3.4 seconds. Those numbers were already extraordinary. But a future version could potentially take the concept even further. Now let's talk about the design. If Aston Martin created a new V12 Vantage, we would expect it to look more aggressive than the standard Vantage. The front end would likely feature a larger grille and larger air openings to provide the cooling required by a powerful 12-cylinder engine. The hood could receive additional sculpting and ventilation. The headlights would maintain Aston Martin's modern signature, giving the car a sharp and recognizable appearance. From the front, the car would look low, wide, and extremely serious. Move around to the side, and the proportions would remain one of the biggest attractions. A long hood, a short rear section, a low roofline, large performance wheels, and a wide stance. Everything about the Vantage is designed to communicate motion, even when the car is standing still. A V12 version could take that attitude to another level. We could also expect more aerodynamic components. A deeper front splitter could help manage airflow. Side skirts could visually lower the car. And at the rear, a more aggressive diffuser and performance exhaust system could complete the design. The exhaust system would be especially important. Because with a V12, the sound is part of the experience. The engine note would become one of the defining characteristics of the car. Now let's move inside. Aston Martin has always been known for combining performance with luxury. So the interior of a future V12 Vantage would not need to feel like a stripped-out race car. Instead, it could combine high-quality leather, carbon fiber details, premium metal finishes, and advanced technology. The driver would sit at the center of the experience. A sporty steering wheel would provide quick access to important controls. The seats would provide strong support while still maintaining the comfort expected from an Aston Martin. Digital displays could provide information about speed, engine performance, temperatures, driving modes, and navigation. But despite all the technology, the cabin should remain focused on the driver. Because this type of car is not built simply to transport people. It is built to create an emotional experience. Now let's talk about the engine. This is where the V12 Vantage becomes truly fascinating. Aston Martin has a long history with 12-cylinder engines. The company's V12 engineering has evolved for decades, and its newer V12 technology demonstrates just how much performance Aston Martin can extract from this configuration. The latest Aston Martin V12 engine family reaches as much as 835 PS and 1000 Nm of torque in the Vanquish. That does not mean those exact numbers would appear in a future V12 Vantage. A smaller sports car would require completely different engineering, cooling, packaging, and chassis calibration. But it shows the level of technology available to Aston Martin. Imagine a compact Vantage with a high-output twin-turbo V12. The acceleration could be breathtaking. Press the accelerator and the engine would deliver an immediate wave of power. The transmission would rapidly move through the gears while the exhaust note rises behind you. And as the speed increases, the Vantage would continue pulling forward with incredible intensity. But straight-line acceleration would only be one part of the story. The real challenge would be handling all that power. A V12 engine is large and heavy compared with a smaller engine. So Aston Martin would need to carefully manage weight distribution. The chassis would have to be extremely rigid. The suspension would need to balance comfort with precise body control. The brakes would have to handle repeated high-performance driving. And the tires would need enough grip to transfer all that power to the road. This is where modern electronic systems become extremely important. A future V12 Vantage could use advanced stability control, adaptive suspension, electronic differential technology, and sophisticated chassis software. The goal would not simply be to make the car faster. The goal would be to make it controllable. A great sports car should give the driver confidence. You should be able to understand what the car is doing. You should feel the road. You should feel the steering. And you should feel the power building underneath your right foot. That connection between driver and machine is one of the most important parts of the Aston Martin experience. Now let's talk about aerodynamics. At high speeds, airflow becomes extremely important. A performance-focused V12 Vantage would need aerodynamic development to keep the car stable. The front splitter could direct air around the vehicle. The bodywork could help reduce unwanted turbulence. The rear diffuser could manage airflow underneath the car. And a carefully designed rear spoiler could provide additional stability. All of these elements would need to work together. The result would be a car that looks dramatic but also has a genuine aerodynamic purpose. And then there is the question of exclusivity. If Aston Martin ever decides to build another V12 Vantage, it would likely be positioned as a very special model. The previous V12 Vantage was produced in limited numbers, making it highly desirable among collectors and enthusiasts. A future V12 Vantage could follow a similar strategy. Limited production would make the car more exclusive. Every example could receive special details, unique colors, personalized interior combinations, and distinctive V12 badging. This would transform the car from simply being a fast sports car into a collector's piece. But perhaps the biggest reason people would want a V12 Vantage is its emotional character. In an industry moving rapidly toward electrification, the V12 represents a different philosophy. It represents mechanical engineering. It represents